China is building World Cup stadiums so advanced, the world is shocked. And we're not talking about a few upgrades to existing venues. We're talking about 14 football stadiums that look like they've been pulled straight out of science fiction. Stadiums with retractable roofs that open like flower petals. Structures that use artificial intelligence to control everything from temperature to crowd flow. Engineering so advanced that what took other countries decades to figure out, China is doing in under 3 years. Now let me show you what makes these stadiums impossible to ignore. Hangzhou Sports Park Stadium, Hangzhou. Hangzhou Sports Park Stadium blooms like a flower frozen mid-opening. 56,000 seats wrapped in petals made of white steel and glass that curve upward and outward, creating a silhouette that looks organic, not engineered. But here's the engineering magic. Those petals aren't cosmetic. They're structural. Each one is a cantilever shell that supports itself while covering the seating bowl below. No interior columns. No obstruction. Just sweeping curves that span hundreds of feet using tension cables and compression rings working in perfect balance. The white cladding? It's a double-layer system with air gaps that create natural ventilation. Hot air rises through the gaps and exhausts at the top, pulling cool air in from below. Passive cooling that works without motors or electricity, and the entire surface is coated with titanium dioxide that breaks down air pollution when sunlight hits it. The stadium literally cleans the air around it. At night, LED strips embedded in the petal edges turn the whole structure into a glowing flower visible across Hangzhou. The lighting system is programmed to pulse and shift colors based on what's happening inside. Score a goal, and the petals flash in waves. Greater Bay Area Sports Center, Guangzhou. You're looking at the Greater Bay Area Sports Center in Guangzhou, and it doesn't look like a stadium. It looks like a massive spaceship that just landed in southern China. The roof sweeps upward in dramatic curves, creating a silhouette that seems to defy physics. This thing seats 100,000 people, and there's not a single support column blocking anyone's view. Here's the crazy part. The entire roof structure is a self-supporting steel lattice that spans over 900 feet across. Engineers used parametric design software normally reserved for aerospace engineering just to figure out how to make it stand up. And the cooling system? In a city where summer temperatures hit 95 degrees with brutal humidity, they've embedded radiant cooling technology throughout the structure that drops the interior temperature without traditional air conditioning. They finished construction in under 3 years. Now, if you think building on flat ground is impressive, wait until you see what they did on top of an old airport runway. Kiteac Stadium, Hong Kong. Kiteac Stadium sits on the exact spot where jumbo jets used to land in one of the world's most dangerous airports. The runway's gone. In its place, a 50,000-seat stadium that rises from the harbor like a crystalline wave. But here's what makes this engineering insane. Hong Kong has zero spare land. So they didn't just build a stadium. They built it on a platform that integrates a subway station, a shopping complex, and a waterfront park, all in the same footprint. The stadium itself floats on shock absorbers designed to handle typhoon-force winds that regularly slam into the harbor at over 100 miles per hour. The roof? It's a sweeping canopy made of ETFE cushions, the same material used on spacecraft, that's 300 times lighter than glass but strong enough to handle anything Hong Kong's weather throws at it. And because this is built on reclaimed land, the entire foundation sits on over 800 deep-bore piles, driven 200 feet into the seabed to prevent the whole thing from sinking. But that's just one coastal stadium. Wait until you see what they're doing in Qingdao. Qingdao Youth Football Stadium, Qingdao. Qingdao Stadium looks like someone captured the ocean in architecture. The facade ripples like waves frozen mid-crash, with panels of iridescent glass that shift color as the sun moves across the sky. This isn't just aesthetic. Those panels are photovoltaic cells generating enough electricity to power the entire stadium during daytime matches. Here's where it gets wild. Qingdao sits right on the Yellow Sea, which means salt air that destroys normal building materials in years. Every structural element in this stadium uses marine-grade stainless steel and specialized coatings developed for offshore oil rigs. The concrete? It's mixed with additives that make it impervious to saltwater corrosion for over a century. And the engineering underneath is even crazier. The entire pitch sits on a drainage system that can handle torrential rain. We're talking 4 inches per hour, and have the field playable within 30 minutes. Perforated pipes, sand layers, and a vacuum-assisted drainage network that would make airport runways jealous. Now, here's where Chinese stadium engineering takes a completely different turn. Chengdu Fenghuangshan Football Stadium, Chengdu. Chengdu's stadium looks like a phoenix about to take flight. And that's not just marketing talk. The roof is designed as massive wings that actually retract. 60,000 people can watch a match under open sky, and if weather rolls in, the entire roof closes in under 20 minutes. But here's the engineering nightmare they solved. Retractable roofs usually need massive motors and rails. Chengdu's system uses a counterweight mechanism so perfectly balanced that the roof segments glide on magnetic levitation tracks, the same technology used on bullet trains. And because Chengdu sits in a basin surrounded by mountains, they had to design the roof to handle bizarre wind patterns that swirl unpredictably. Wind tunnel testing took 18 months alone. The structure itself? It's wrapped in a skin made of thousands of interlocking aluminum panels finished in rose gold. At sunset, this thing glows like it's on fire. Embedded in those panels are sensors monitoring structural stress in real time, feeding data to an AI system that can detect potential failures before they happen. They built this entire complex in 34 months. But building in a basin is nothing compared to what they pulled off in the mountains. Lanzhou, Stadium Lanzhou. Lanzhou Stadium is carved into the side of a mountain range where earthquakes are a regular fact of life. 45,000 seats clinging to terrain so steep, engineers had to blast away 2 million cubic yards of rock just to create a flat foundation. Here's the insane part. This stadium sits on base isolators, giant shock absorbers that let the entire structure move independently from the ground during an earthquake. Bearings can shift 6 feet in any direction, while keeping everyone inside perfectly safe. The technology is so advanced, it's the same system used in nuclear power plants. And the temperature swings? Lanzhou goes from 15 degrees Fahrenheit in winter to over 100 degrees in summer. Every joint, every connection point uses expansion mechanisms that let the steel breathe without cracking. The concrete mix includes fibers that prevent thermal stress fractures. But the real engineering flex? They built access roads up the mountain, constructed the entire stadium, then landscaped everything so seamlessly you'd think the stadium grew there naturally. Now let me show you what happens when you build in a river valley. Longgang Stadium, Chongqing. Longgang Stadium sits in a river valley where the elevation drops 400 feet from one side of the site to the other. Most engineers would have leveled the terrain. China said no. We're building into it. The result? A 60,000-seat stadium that cascades down the hillside like a modern amphitheater. The upper tier sits at street level on one side. Walk to the opposite end, and you're looking down from 20 stories high. They turned a construction nightmare into the stadium's signature feature. But here's the engineering madness. The foundation is asymmetrical. One side sits on solid bedrock. The other side? They drove support piles over 300 feet deep through unstable soil until they hit stable ground. Each section of the stadium has different load calculations, different structural requirements, and they all had to work together as one unified system. The drainage system is even crazier. In a valley, water flows downhill fast. During heavy rain, they can get flash flooding in minutes. So they installed a network of channels and retention basins that can handle over 2 million gallons of runoff per hour, diverting it around the stadium before it becomes a problem. But that's just creative problem solving. Wait until you see pure architectural ambition. Longgang Stadium, Shenzhen. Longgang Stadium's facade looks like a giant crystal that somehow learned to glow. The entire exterior is wrapped in translucent panels that shift from clear to frosted white depending on the angle you're looking from. At night, LED systems embedded behind the panels turn the whole structure into a light show, visible for miles. But here's the technical marvel. Those aren't just pretty panels. They're ETFE cushions filled with air, the same material covering the Beijing water cube. Each cushion is 3 layers thick, creating insulation pockets that keep the interior cool in Shenzhen's brutal subtropical heat while letting natural light flood through. The material weighs 1% of what glass would weigh, which meant they could span massive distances without heavy support structures. And the modularity? This stadium can reconfigure itself. 45,000 seats that can be rearranged into different sections based on event type. Retractable seating platforms that expose or cover the lower bowl. The entire venue morphs from football configuration to concert setup in under 6 hours. The 5G network blanketing this place is so dense, every single seat has gigabit wireless speeds, instant replays on your phone before they hit the big screen. But crystal facades are just the beginning. Wait until you see what they built on a beach. Dalian Suoyuan Football Stadium. Dalian Stadium sits right on the edge of the Yellow Sea, and it looks like a seashell that washed up on the beach and decided to stay. The roof curves in flowing waves that mirror the ocean behind it. But this isn't just pretty design. This is engineering that has to survive maritime hell. Here's what they're fighting: salt spray, typhoons, humidity that would corrode normal steel in months. Every structural element is either marine-grade stainless steel or coated in specialized polymers developed for naval ships. The glass panels? They're treated with hydrophobic coatings that make saltwater bead off like mercury. And the retractable roof? It closes against winds hitting 70 miles per hour. The mechanism uses a rail system with shock absorbers that compensate for wind load in real time. Sensors detect gusts and automatically slow or pause the roof movement to prevent structural stress. But one stadium is nothing. Let me show you an entire football ecosystem. Guangzhou Football Park. Guangzhou. Guangzhou Football Park isn't a stadium. It's a football universe. 50 pitches, professional training facilities, youth academies, public parks, and at the center, a competition venue that makes everything around it look small. Here's what's wild. Most stadiums are islands. You play, you leave. This place is designed so the community flows through it. Walking paths, viewing terraces where you can watch multiple matches simultaneously, training pitches with the same drainage and turf technology as the main venue. Kids can play on fields built to the exact same specifications as the pros. The main stadium itself uses a modular design where seating capacity adjusts based on need. Retractable sections that expose or conceal the lower bowl. For a youth match, it's intimate. For a professional game, it seats tens of thousands. And the AI system? It's managing field rotation across all 50 pitches, monitoring turf wear, scheduling irrigation during optimal windows, adjusting training pitch availability in real time based on usage patterns. This isn't just a venue. It's a living organism that breathes football.